All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Eddy Live Show, episode number 152. Wow. I'm here with Joseph Prosnitz. What's up, brother?
Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming. I appreciate it, man. I got lots of questions for you. I'm excited to chat with you. What brought you to Taiwan before we start?
Oh, man.
That's a long one, right? That's always the first question.
It's
always the first. Yeah, I know.
I think mine is a little bit more of like a... I found it very surprising I ended up here.
Okay.
I had never...
3 years, you said, right?
3 years I've been here, yes.
Okay.
I can remember a single instance in 8th grade where Taiwan sort of came up, where Chiang Kai-shek came up in social studies class one time, but not like Taiwan or anything. Just America has a relationship with Chiang Kai-shek in the 70s or something.
Oh, really? Shoot. Okay.
And that's it. That's all I remember.
That's all you remember. Okay.
And I'm going to take it a little bit farther back.
Please do. Yeah.
So I wasn't into my current business at all, never done any engineering things, never had turned a wrench or a screwdriver or anything.
Gotcha. Yep.
I got out of college where I had done triathlon. Mm-hmm. Really liked being on the collegiate team. It was really nice.
Good to go.
Oh, we got
looking
an
good,
echo going.
No, I'm just checking.
Oh, yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah,
keep going, bro. Keep
so,
going. We're good.
Yeah, I got out of college and I wanted cheap bike parts. And
Taiwan popped up somehow with cheap bike parts.
No, I got into all this engineering stuff over time, and that was kind of my entry to mechanical stuff. And ultimately, I wanted to. I'm sure we'll touch on all this other
Beautiful.
stuff.
Yes, of course.
Ultimately, I wanted to find the best place to make exercise equipment because that's ultimately kind of where the road led me. I thought that was a really big opportunity. And I talked with the founders of a company called SRAM, which you probably have never heard of.
I'm not too aware of the industry.
So that's the second biggest maker of bicycle parts in the world.
They
started with that little quick shifter made in
wow.
Taiwan.
Really? Okay. Well, as a kid, I remember everything was made in Taiwan.
Yeah, a lot of things.
That kind of changed a little bit, but yeah.
Well, a lot of stuff still is.
Still is.
A lot of it's not labeled anymore. So if you go to a gym and a exercise machine that you're getting on, there's a very significant chance that it was made in Taiwan.
Okay. All good. Yeah.
Wow.
Keep going. Yeah, we got the wings. The wings are here.
So basically, everyone in the fitness equipment industry, which is the industry I'm in, was like Taiwan, and I'm perfectly okay going against kind of the grain, going against the flow, if it makes sense.
And going against the big boys, right?
Yeah,
it's
going
kind of like that's a big thing. That's a big thing.
There's some billion-dollar companies in the space. Yeah. I think that they have ultimately a little bit disappointed their customers. I don't think they've really delivered on the promise of good health and happiness, or at least hopefully movement in that direction.
Gotcha. Yep.
But basically, everyone in my industry said come here, and away I went, kind of with eyes kind of like this.
Okay.
Just because there's not even a book in the library about Taiwan.
It's a sensitive topic, right? Because, China thinks it's China. Taiwan, has the pro-independence thing, but it still says ROC, and then it's a weird situation. I mean, people are calling me daily, like, hey, is everything cool? I'm like, oh, everything's great. Yeah. I don't know if it's because of that. I would imagine it has something to do with it.
My parents call me about kind of international politics stuff sometimes.
Okay.
Mom and Dad, if you're watching, don't freak out too much.
Okay, we're good. Yeah.
So, I ended up here kind of because for the last 30 or 40 years, Taiwan has been making exercise equipment.
Okay.
A lot of it started in weights and dumbbells, just metal casting, and kind of they moved up the value chain and ultimately kind of make the whole machine.
That's cool.
They're kind of a really good balance between cost and kind of quality and business culture.
Okay.
And I would say the factories, all things considered, have been nice to work with, although there are some challenges to it as well.
Oh, I can imagine. So we'll just backtrack a little bit for those of the people that don't know that they're listening, but they don't know what your business is.
Sure.
Maybe you can we'll talk about that, and then I want to go way back and talk about why.
Yeah, I think the why is pretty interesting.
The why is pretty important, yeah. Before we do that, let's grab the first wing before it cools up. So we're going to start from this side. Yeah. It looks like they gave us massive cauliflower wings today. So this is just a basic buffalo, right? It's pretty, I think it's pretty good. I don't know. I like it.
It's nice.
Yeah, so.
Oh, you're jumping right in there. Let me catch up.
Okay. take a bite of that, and then keep on going, man. No pressure. So
I want to be civilized, but I might lick my fingers during this, and I apologize. It's very tasty.
I'll lick mine right now. There you go.
I think we're both fans of hot ones, and I think you can get away with that early, and maybe later we'll see how dangerous.
For sure. I mean, it does go up. Like I was saying earlier, hot ones, Joe Rogan, two things I love. So I figured I'd combine it in the restaurant when we do it live, put my own little spin on it. But I legit want it to be like a real podcast where there's real stories and stuff. Yeah.
Well, the cauliflower really does kind of look like wings, I will say.
Dude, these are right on par with the chicken, if not outselling the chicken. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I don't know, half price wings on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, all the tables, there's got mountains of wings everywhere. So it's pretty cool. Cauliflower and chicken. Yeah.
I think undervalued vegetable cauliflower. Even when I was a child, I loved cauliflower. Mm-hmm. Get me some cauliflower and broccoli, and I'd be a happy guy.
Happy, right? So I didn't want to cut you off, but let me know, viewers that are watching, what is the business? If somebody says, hey, what do you do?
Sure. So I'm going to talk into the camera.
I'm talking to this guy right there, yeah.
So my company is called Stride. We make two products that are related to each other. Mm-hmm. We make a
little bit. Sorry.
Sure. So we make a exercise machine, which is the first multi-use cardio machine that's connected.
It's really cool looking, yeah.
Yeah, so we're trying to offer you a variety of physical exercise, and then there's some wonderful sensors, a touch screen, a camera, so you can work out with other people, you can capture your own progress. Mm-hmm. And we make an open social fitness app, basically kind of like if YouTube and Facebook had like a fitness love child.
Okay, great.
So we want people to kind of not just have the tools they need, but also work with trainers and health professionals, engage with their community. We're trying to ultimately give you what you need to kind of get inspired. We say for the company that we're data-inspired fitness.
Okay.
Or excuse me, yeah. I think the products are called Stride Transformer and Stride 360, and the Stride 360 app is actually available in beta in the apps, both major app stores.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. Now, so they can get
right now,
download them.
Live streaming is working. You can create your profile. You can add friends.
Live stream while you're exercising type thing? Okay.
You can also do challenges. You can challenge people or ask for supporters.
Beautiful. Oh, that's really cool.
I think we think that open is just a way to allow a variety of voices. So, I think when I talk to people, I was so surprised at the different approaches that people take. Mm-hmm. I met one guy who was into Christian fitness, where he was proselytizing for the Lord while he got his pump on. And I was like,
oh, Jesus. That's awesome.
Kind of, yeah.
That's
and
cool.
I was like,
all right.
It's not for me. It's not my thing. I met one lady who just loved to exercise naked.
Okay.
Because you do these customer interviews, you try to understand
that's oh my God, that's cool.
You meet all these people, and then you realize one person wants to be super social, one person wants to race against other people.
Competitive, right? It's like gamifying it, kind of, right? Where it's here's your stats, and boom, there's that guy, and
I feel like there's this opportunity to offer people the chance to build communities, meaningful relationships around fitness, and really inspire each other to be happier and healthier. I feel like we should celebrate that, and I think social media sometimes gets a bad rap, but I think you have now social gaming, you have things like Twitch.
Yeah.
I think social fitness and like an open platform for that, I think is just going to be huge.
I think it's great, and I think community building is underrated, right? And I also think that when you kind of connect with different people, it's almost like finding your tribe, right? Let's say you're in the middle of nowhere, you're some fit guy or gal, and maybe there's no gym or whatever, but you like doing your fitness thing. You could get it. The Stride Transformer. Is it the Transformer's the machine, right?
Yeah, that's
you get that, the Transformer, and you could live stream. You could get some people on there, and you could have competitions and fun stuff. It sounds cool. It sounds great.
Well, I know that I talk with my best friend sometimes, and he's on the treadmill or the elliptical or the exercise bike, and it's just a great time to be social, where it ups your cardio level.
Yeah,
and your endorphins
you forget you're
are going,
exercising, right?
Yeah,
it's good.
It's a happier experience. Some of my fondest memories with my dad are just going biking with a couple other people and him, and it's just It wasn't exercise. We were just having a good time together.
Yeah. Well, when you play, like, for example, like a sport, like I played soccer most of my life and I coached it and stuff. And when you're actually, somebody keeps freaking messaging me.
Oh, yeah, take your time. It's okay.
It's going to keep shaking the mics. And you forget you're exercising. You're out, you're running, you're playing, you're kicking the ball and stuff, whatever. You forget. And then you get home, you take a shower, and you're like, whoa, I had a workout. But, you know, you get that adrenaline, and it's good. It's really good. I love that.
I think it's like kind of in human nature. I don't want to try to imagine prehistory, but I feel like we are ultimately like physical creatures, and like we're social creatures, and I don't know. I feel like this ties into a really good place and like a really good part of being human. Yeah, that's how I like to imagine.
I think it's cool, and I think the live streaming, like from the actual machine, that's really cool. I didn't know that was possible. Maybe it wasn't until you guys did it. But
I think so. Like a lot
cool
a lot of the companies in the space, I'm not gonna be too hard on people. They think that they can make the best fitness content ever.
Okay.
And there's no best fitness content. There's no prettiest person for everybody. Yeah. There's no this is gonna get your heart rate up. I think there, like I said earlier, there's all these different approaches to it, and I hope that people can find the approach that works for them, and find the other people where they share that kind of. They want to share that experience.
Okay.
Because you know, there's cancer fitness and military fitness and marathon training fitness, and I've met so many people in my journey that love fitness for such different reasons. There's ping pong fitness, you know.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. There's exercising naked fitness, right? There's a lot of different kinds of fitness, right? That's I didn't even know that was a thing, but
you should
might
go,
be.
You should go see the World Naked Bike Ride. Happens all over the world.
The World Naked Bike Ride.
It's probably maybe too risque for your channel, but
no, I didn't even know that was a wow.
It's a global phenomenon. They have it even here in Taipei, actually.
The World Naked. Okay.
It's a political thing, but
I can't imagine that. I've never heard of it. So
in Chicago, it's like 10,000 people.
Really, just cruising around naked. Okay.
For the most part, yeah.
I mean, okay, wow. That's pretty cool. That's pretty.
But I think I don't want to be the goal of the platform is not to be scandalous or anything.
Sure, of course. I
think the goal is to like I find a way for people to engage with this thing that is like kind of they need. Like we know the exercise. Like I'm going to say some stuff that's really obvious. We know the exercise is good for us.
Well, I think everybody knows that. But do they do it?
They do it, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I agree.
I struggle. I know other people struggle.
Don't eat potato chips at midnight. Everybody knows that.
We're not supposed to do that.
But but we still do it. Right? Yeah, I agree, man. Because, some people, the knowledge is there. People know. But exercise, 3 to 5 times a week, whatever, 30 minutes or whatever it is.
Not even that, honestly. If everyone did 2 times a week, 30 minutes, 1 hour a week.
Okay.
The state of the world would be so different. It'd be like unrecognizable in the first world.
Okay. I think that the endorphins and stuff that come from exercise is amazing.
People will be less stressed out.
People will be happier.
Way happier.
Yeah. I mean, like again, we're talking about this summer. This summer, I basically hung out with my daughter, and it was great. But, I get up, get ready, and I go to the gym. And my daughter's like, hey, let's go to the park. Or let's watch cartoons or something. When you have a kid, it's like your second childhood. So it's like, yeah, let's do that. So I skipped the gym like almost the whole summer. So today, school went back in. And then, I'm back in. I'm back in the gym, getting everything back to normal. So it's good. It's good. But I got to, balance my health. But I got one kid. She's growing up fast. So it's like, it's fun. It's a good thing. That's where the dad bods come from when you make the decision to skip and eat ice cream and in front of the TV with your kid. But it's like it's give or take, right? I can't complain.
I'd like to believe that I think it's not necessarily about having those ripped abs and those giant guns. I think it's being able to walk up a flight of steps and not get out of breath.
Not gasp. Yeah, for sure. I agree. I agree with you 100%. Just being healthy. Yeah, I agree 100%. I just think you got to make some good choices and stuff like that, and don't eat a pint of ice cream at midnight. It's probably not the best. You can do it sometimes, but you're not going to feel great the next day.
I
health,
think
fitness.
I think it's a category of activity that we sort of take for granted. I think like the most mundane stuff can sometimes have the biggest impact.
Like just even walking, right?
Yeah.
Like just a long walk here and there.
If everyone walks
everyone
a couple
just
days
walked.
a week, a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it's tough. You know, people talk about diet and sleep and exercise.
Yeah.
And
Big
hypothetically, actually, if I could wave a magic wand,
Yep.
I would probably try to improve people's sleep. But sleep is the hardest of the three to improve. Diet, people really don't want to give up that bag of chips at midnight.
That's true. True.
And so the one thing that people are kind of almost every year, that you got that New Year's resolution, you got those kind of other moments.
The gym is like packed for a week in January, right? Here we get 2 chances. We got Chinese New Year as well, and then whenever it is for the first week, it's packed. Yeah, it's funny.
I think exercise can move the needle. Like I really believe that, like things like heart disease and diabetes, like we can make a difference.
Agree.
But like it's not like a super sexy problem. Like it's kind of, it's like that slow creeping issue that kind of weighs on people's lives.
I mean, speaking of diseases and stuff, right? You mentioned you were diagnosed with Crohn's. I would like to go a little bit further back.
Sure.
If we could do that.
That's kind of almost like origin story kind of.
Exactly. I'd love it. I'd love to hear that.
So,
like that's where it started. Like that's what we want to do. So this seems like it's the beginning of the journey. So maybe tell me a little bit about that before we kind of go super duper deep into the end.
So, I didn't know that I was sick, but I was always sick. Like even from like I was very young. Had a lot of bathroom issues, but like bathroom stuff isn't stuff you talk about. Like
gotcha. Yeah, of
Crohn's
course.
disease is like such like sort of an invisible disease.
I honestly don't know much about it, so
it's an autoimmune disease.
Okay.
Basically, for reasons they don't know.
Okay.
Like they don't even pretend to know. Like they just straight up don't know.
Like, we don't know. Yeah.
Very smart people working on it. Shout out Dr. Rubin. But your immune system basically primarily in the like stomach and intestines just doesn't work right, and you have like imagine you get a cut and it's like red and inflamed.
Yes.
That's like the inside of my body.
Okay.
And it leads to all kinds of bathroom problems that are like not fit for YouTube. But that kind of was my childhood, and it gave me a lot of very difficult experiences. But I wasn't
from
very,
like a young age.
Like 6, 7,
okay,
maybe
young,
even younger. Honestly,
okay.
Like I have memories of just like going to the bathroom and just being destroyed.
That sucks, man.
It's just what it is.
Okay.
Honestly, I have it pretty good. Like I've seen people that have it much worse.
Okay,
than me.
I understand. Yeah.
But then, like when I was in high school, I started like falling downstairs and stuff because I have this other condition related to it called ankylosing spondylitis. I was having just horrible back and hip pain, and they did some tests and found out that I had this disease, and it was so jarring to like realize that like my health wasn't something I had control over, and I went through this process of like taking all these medicines and having all these problems, and ultimately it culminating in me having intestinal surgery.
Okay.
So I had like I think 11 inches of my intestine removed or something.
Okay.
Not still
this
trying
was
to
a long
keep
time
it,
ago, yeah. Or not that long ago.
The last 5 years.
Okay.
6 years maybe.
Gotcha. Did it help?
Any
difference
made
afterwards?
a world of difference.
Okay.
Life is much easier now. I mean, it's never goes away. It's like one of those. They don't know what causes it. I take pills every day.
Okay.
I am very intimate with like an ER, and I can tell if like they're doing a good job.
Okay. Wow.
Because
like when I eat out, and I'm like, oh, that guy's putting way too much oil on that. Yesterday we went to a teppanyaki, and I was like, oh my god.
I think what I took away from the whole thing, though, is that like when your health is not under control, it can be it can just color your whole experience in this kind of negative way.
Right. Sure.
And I think I'm still trying to live to learn with all that accumulated stress. But then on kind of the more positive origin side of things, every weekend pretty much, we had this routine of like going to pray as a family, and then afterwards going to the gym. Like my father was just religious about
your
basketball.
Dad was like, oh really? Okay.
He loved and still loves shooting. Like, he's still mad that I not mad, but he still thinks it's ridiculous. I just don't have. Like he hits 80-90% of his shots. Anywhere on the court. Like he's just got really good form.
He's an athlete and he loves it. Okay. Or he's just a
b-ball
lover.
I think he's got a passion for it, and he found something that worked for him. But this was kind of biking and playing basketball and doing kind of and going just to the gym and community center.
That's
were parts
cool.
of my life, and so
That's very
it was something
cool. Okay.
I could really relate to, and it was something that was very familiar to me. And
Nice.
as kind of fast forwarding, after college, I'd done triathlons. I'd done the collegiate triathlon team. Went to collegiate nationals. Was the worst person there that finished.
Okay.
Although like 40% of the field dropped out. So like
But you
I'm gonna,
finished, yeah.
it
Okay,
was-
okay.
It's really hot. So I was like an okay athlete,
Gotcha.
not too serious, but like I started doing bike commuting, and I wanted cheap bike parts. Going back to that bike place,
Yes, yes.
and cheap bike parts, led me to this bicycle nonprofit called the Recyclery, which taught people how to fix their own bikes, and then I ultimately like learned a lot from them, and took a class on fixing bikes. And a bike is like a marvel of mechanical engineering.
It looks pretty cool, yeah. I mean,
So like a bike is like one of the most efficient mechanical systems we've ever built to convert like human power into something else.
okay.
And it's just been refined over like 200 years. And by learning about bicycles, I got really interested in physical objects and started like my journey engaging with manufacturing. I took like, it's kind of, I don't want to go too far afield, but basically
Sure.
I had health problems.
Yeah.
I had kind of this exercise in my life pretty consistently, from childhood and
that
in
helps.
college
That
and
helps,
then
I would
after
imagine.
college. And then like kind of exercise took me to this mechanical place, and I really loved that because I was so unhappy with kind of the things I was doing professionally. I wanted to find kind of an opportunity where I could kind of bring all those things together and ultimately kind of create a business, because
Okay.
there's a lot of entrepreneurship in my family.
Oh, really? Okay,
I think
okay.
3 or 4 generations.
Really? Okay, okay.
Never the same thing, though.
What kind of, I'm just out of curiosity.
My father started an HR company.
Okay. Nice. HR is murder, man. So that must be a great biz. Yeah, yeah.
I think he does okay.
He does okay? Okay. Shout out to your dad. all right.
My father's father had an Army-Navy store, military
Nice. Okay,
surplus.
like a surplus, okay.
Ultimately, the store was, a business, was worth less than the real estate, and so they sold it.
Gotcha.
And then I think before that, on both sides, one side was like a candy maker, and the other side was a cobbler. And they
Okay,
ran their own
nice.
little
That's
hustles.
cool. Okay, that's really cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Very
But
cool.
I think it's just like, talking at the table at dinner, because we did family dinners.
That's what I love those. Those are the best. Yeah.
My parents cared about like sharing what they loved and what they were
Communication,
passionate about.
yeah.
And my father loves business. Like, he is so proud of whenever he sees a client, if we're driving by or something, and be like, they've been a client for 20 years. And it's
That's
like,
good. That's cool.
so like the business felt like an intuitive choice, and working for other people was not really always so pleasant for me.
Sure.
But boy, I never thought it would take me to Taiwan.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah. That's
it's kind of hard to like thread the needle and like bring all these things together, because it was all these different forces that kind of weirdly produced the moment that we're in right now.
But like in a nutshell, it was the bike parts thing that really kind of was like, let's go there. Let's go
feel
to the
like-
source maybe and check it out.
I think even when I did not know bike parts were made in Taiwan. Even
Okay.
you're building bicycles, you don't really get a sense until I didn't know until later like how much stuff was made here.
Okay.
There was like sort of like, if you don't know, you don't know. Like I would guess like a
Taiwan's-
huge percentage of the stuff I was touching was made in Taiwan. But
Yeah. Okay.
I think it was more like that led to me to mechanical stuff.
Gotcha.
I think being here, it is like when I get to tour the factories, I'm blown away by like all these big brands that you've definitely heard of, even as probably not a bike person.
Okay.
It's like, wow, they make it here.
Made here, huh? Yeah. It's growing up, a lot of things were made in Taiwan, and well, let's grab the next one, right?
Oh, sure.
So the next one is Chipotle.
Okay.
So you can grab the big one there, yeah.
What is the flavor profile of this?
Chipotle, it's like a smoky, a little sweet. Yeah, smoky sweet, a little spicy. So it's
Okay.
going to be a little spicier than the last one. But yeah, it's
Oh.
pretty good. Pretty good. Should be a little bit of a step up, but not too much.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. I got like the dual action.
Okay. That's really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
The
got
cauliflower is killer, man. I mean, it does so well.
It's a good vehicle
It's
for
so
our
well,
sauces.
yeah. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
I think that's why it's good in curries too.
True. Big curry fan. big food fan, really. Any kind of food.
Really?
If
A
it's
restaurant
good-
owner into food?
Yeah, but there are bad points. I mean, like last night, we're closed, and I'm like, let's go out for dinner. I love teppanyaki, so we're like, oh, there's a teppanyaki just not too far from here. All right, let's go. So we go in, and then we didn't really look at. We're not really price checking people, but we get there and it's like set. The typical kind of a Taiwanese set menu, 900, 1,000 a person. I'm like, oh, that's pretty high, but I'm like, okay, whatever. Last day of whatever vacation, we'll eat, and I don't mind spending it, but it's like I was just saying, it's tough when you do a lot of cooking and then the place was empty, no problem. They're like, okay, it comes with a drink, the classic milk tea or coffee, right? So I'm like, okay, milk tea, but I'll have, can I have fresh milk instead of, like the cream, right?
Sure.
And they're like, no, we don't have that. I'm like, for 1,000 a head, you don't have a carton of milk there? I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. And then they're just like, okay, cool. So we order our food. I'm like, oh, you can send, my daughter's hungry, you can send the rice before the food. And they're like, oh no, you have to pay extra for the rice. And I'm like, for 1,000 a head, you want me to pay extra for the rice? And I'm like, she's like, oh, we give bread, we don't give rice. And then this tiny little baguette, I'm like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. If the food's good, who cares? And then, we always, when I go to teppanyaki, it's like probably really Taiwanese, but you have your little thing of rice, you order like a sunny side up egg, and then you throw it on there and you just kind of do that while they're eating the food, right? While they're making. So the guy just like dumps a ton of oil onto the griddle for 3 eggs, and I'm just like, not going to say anything, but long story short, he did that for everything, and everything was super greasy. And I'm like, why? And then the bill comes like almost $3,000. I'm like, what is going on? So, yeah, I mean, I don't have that many experiences like that, but sometimes it does bug me, because for $3,000 you can get a lot of food here, and and it's not gonna tear your gut up and stuff. But anyways, yeah,
I think the food here is really interesting. I'm not a big Chinese food kind of guy. Honestly, it's just a cuisine I can't relate to in a lot of ways because I don't do pork, which makes it challenging. But like the veggie buffets here, really nice.
Okay.
And I think the international food that's in Taipei is really interesting. I think that it's sort of self-selecting, where there's just not the people that have come from far off from somewhere. I think they have more of a passion for it than the local restaurants. I think there's a huge range of like amazing stuff and
some
terrible
amazing
stuff.
and some stuff that's like, what? Yeah. No, there are classic dishes that I love here. Kung Pao chicken. I mean, I think most foreigners love the Kung Pao Jiding, right? Every time you go into a place, they're like, yeah, Kung Pao Jiding, But yeah, no, I like a lot of the food. Some of it is like, it's not so good, but it is a bummer when you go out and you're like, teppanyaki. Even a mediocre teppanyaki is okay, but yeah, I don't know, just a bad experience yesterday.
I think it's also because you're in the food industry. Like I look around and I look at like a hand railing or something, and if it's like a bad weld, I'll be like, oh come on,
How
guys!
How dare you? How could you do that?
Come on, you could do better than this.
Yeah, it's got to be it. It's got to be it. Yeah.
I think it's professional pride.
I think that sounds about right, because we try not to say too much, but yeah, that just yesterday was just when you're doing a chicken breast and it's got the skin on, and the teppanyaki, even a mediocre teppanyaki, they can crisp that skin out, but it was just soaked, and I'm just like, no. So anyways, that's the end of that. I don't want to talk about that anymore, but it was crappy.
It's okay. If you need to get the trauma out, it's okay.
I got to get that out, man. It's bad.
I think that it's a good food.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Good food. Yeah.
I think I always have enjoyed coming to your restaurant.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So, yeah, I have so many questions for you, but last year you did the Dragon's Chamber, right? I kind of want to take a quick stab at that one. How did I was there filming it? It was the first time I actually went. It was pretty awesome. It was a pretty cool experience, and I actually thought your pitch was fantastic. I loved it.
Oh, thank you.
I loved the machine. I'll pull up a video of the machine in a sec here. The transformer, excuse me. It was great. I thought it was fantastic, and I was I was kind of surprised that you didn't win, but I mean, I'm not an angel investor, so I don't know.
I think the challenge for a lot of people is it's a very ambitious project.
Okay.
I think it's like sort of like I think it's hard for people to understand the different kind of outcomes that can happen, and we can talk about that. But
yeah,
Dragon's Chamber was a great experience. Elias and all the other people that organized it.
Shout out to Elias, fantastic guy. I love Elias.
If you're out there,
Elias is a fantastic man.
Wonderful human being.
Love that guy. Yeah,
Did me a huge favor this week, actually.
Ooh. Okay.
We can't talk about that.
Okay,
though.
I'll have to hit him up in the slide into his DMs. Yeah.
as the kids say.
That's how the kids say.
But I think I'm always looking for opportunities to share what I'm doing. I think it sharpens you, and it allows you to understand where people are confused. It allows you to see if your message is being understood.
Yeah.
I think that, it's also just kind of practice. Like, I think up until the point where it's like really obvious that you're going to succeed, there's a lot of skepticism. And I just want to...
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Good. Sorry, go ahead.
All good, all good.
We're live right now, actually.
It's all good. Hey, what's this guy?
we got some cameo.
The man. EJ, I had him on before. He knows. Yeah, he's...
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All good. Yeah.
Basically, I think it was just a way to kind of engage with some of the Taiwanese entrepreneurship community, some of the foreign entrepreneurship community.
Yeah.
I think it was overall a positive experience. I think my pitch got better because of the practice. I think, knowing some of the people involved, I think that, it's, you have to meet someone somewhere. And I think they have this idea, I'm sure you know this idea, of like guanxi, right? People have relationships.
Taiwan, man. Oof.
And I think
it's not what you know sometimes, right?
I think one of the people that does some engineering work for me, I'm not going to say his name, but my first impression of him was just totally wrong. And, you build a relationship over time. You give people the benefit of the doubt. You get to know them. Maybe they invest in your company. Maybe, they introduce you to somebody. Maybe they do you a favor.
Yep.
Or maybe you do them a favor. You send them an employee or, you help them with a problem. I think Dragon's Chamber ultimately was a source of support, and I love what Elias is doing.
Connecting, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you recommend that to people that are kind of new? They're like, man, I want to pitch something. I'm not kind of on the fence. Do you recommend just go for it?
Yes, but I think if you got to be like, you'll get what you put into it.
Okay.
I think you also have to sort of build those relationships, and you have to follow up with people.
Okay.
You're not gonna. You want to take up too much of somebody's time, but you check in every couple of months and be like, you said you wanted to see the machine. Oh, I got the new machine sample. Oh,
okay.
I'm going to be giving a presentation with Eddy. You can come online.
Come on down. Yeah, come say hi.
Take a look. I think there's like my favorite word is probably like the word serendipity.
Okay.
And I feel like you can't really control the magic of like what happens, but you sort of just keep knocking on the door, and then maybe the door opens.
Okay.
Or a window opens, it's that strange thing.
If you're banging on the door for eventually.
I think that I think like we should probably show the animation.
You want to do that right now? Let's do.
I think people will find this really hard to imagine.
So this is the machine we're talking about here?
Sure.
Boom. So you can kind of describe what's happening here.
Yeah, so this is the machine. So this is a 4-in-1 cardio machine. These are the most popular forms of low-impact fitness, so very sustainable exercise. So what you just saw was an elliptical. That's an exercise bike. There's going to be a rowing machine and a ski erg. These, by volume, 80% of the U.S. exercise market is cardio equipment for like a home gym. And people buy 2 or 3 machines. So we wanted to save them the space. We wanted to give them physical variety. And you can actually save money in manufacturing and shipping because it's all modular and it disassembles by the sub-functions. Like that rowing machine, that whole assembly, like all the pieces for the rowing machine and the ski erg can be separated from the machine. The bike and the elliptical can all be shipped as separate boxes.
Okay.
Which allows you to reduce cost.
It's a kind of like an all-in-one, right?
Yeah, we say like a complete gym at home kind of, or a complete gym experience.
Is there like the option to buy like the base model for cheaper and then slowly add parts on?
We're thinking about doing that. I think
okay.
The challenge with that is when you're a new company,
I have no idea.
You want to have only a limited number of SKUs, stock keeping units.
Sure.
But we might do that. I think like maybe make the elliptical or the exercise bike or maybe both of those as the defaults and add additional modes. The 4 functions that we currently have, we might actually get to 6 or 8 in the future.
Okay.
We're looking at a couple things. I think even potentially offering like a integrated strength product.
Okay.
But that'd be like a version 2 probably.
Okay. What do you do for marketing? Like, how is it to get the word out, in an industry that's pretty competitive? Like,
we are going a little bit of a different route. We're actually going business to business. So our goal is to get pilots with human resources companies, human resource departments. So if you're like a Fortune 1000 company, and let's say you have very, very valuable employees, you want to keep them healthy, you want to keep them happy.
Okay.
They already offer gym memberships. Maybe they offer a Fitbit.
Sure. Okay.
You also in America are paying for their insurance cost.
Okay.
And you have corporate social responsibility programs internally where you want to take care of people and do good by the world. And this kind of fits in that category of thing.
Thank you.
So we're going to hopefully, maybe even at the Consumer Electronics Show, which we were talking about earlier, be meeting with some people and try to convince them to do pilot programs with us, get a couple companies on board, show that you can get people, you can document what people are doing and say, hey, this is what you're currently doing.
Okay.
Let's set some goals. Let's get you to a better place.
Okay.
Let's achieve your health and fitness goals.
Okay.
And so kind of building out dashboards for those companies to manage their internal on an individual and kind of a company basis, the state of the employee's health. So
would you guys, let's say, you're hitting up like a big company, random, like a Facebook or like something big.
Sure.
And they wanted you to white label it or something, brand it out as Facebook or whatever. Is that something, or are you guys no, you've got to be Stride? It's got to be Stride.
I like the brand. I think I developed the brand on this idea of moving forward.
Okay.
I think that the logo and whatnot kind of represent
very cool.
the winding road and kind of the person kind of rising up and hopefully moving forward.
Okay.
It's also in the shape of an S. But
it's very cool. I'm just putting out some extra info.
I think white labeling, I'm not opposed to it.
Okay.
I think the big mission of the company, trying to get people happier and healthier.
Yeah.
And not just not just doing a lip service to it, which is I think the majority of the industry, but actually trying to facilitate the goals that the individual person has.
Not just talking, right?
I want to I don't know, not feel tired at the end of the day. Whatever it is, I want to climb a mountain. I want to.
Okay.
I want to not have pain in my shoulder.
Gotcha.
I hope we can. I hope we can facilitate that, and if that means white labeling the company or even getting acquired, I think as long as it's aligned with that mission and really consistent with it, I think I'm comfortable.
Okay. Very cool. I like it. I like that. Yeah. Because I think there are, a lot of companies, but it's tough. It's a competitive market, and my market's competitive. Like a restaurant is competitive. There's a lot of competition in every
I think
sort of
that
thing.
for Tianmu, you are the best game
quality.
in town.
I'll take it.
But I think what we're offering is I would say pretty significantly different than other exercise equipment.
Okay.
I think multi-use cardio. There's multi-use strength. You can walk up to a weight rack and you can attach handles and do a bunch of strength exercises.
Okay.
There isn't really something like that for cardio, especially in that kind of connected space where you have a touch screen and a camera where you can work out with other people.
I do like that. That's really cool. Yeah.
I think the idea of doing cardio with your friends, especially on a variety of cardio, I think we're bringing something a new technology to the table. We've applied for a bunch of patents on the machine.
Beautiful.
I think that we'll be the only people that are probably doing that.
I think it's cool because you can have the sort of the community person who just wants to chat while they're exercising and they want to kind of gossip or chat or do whatever for lack of a better word, maybe not gossip, but just chat. You're doing your thing, right? And then you have all the competitors, the people that they want to be on the leaderboard, stuff like that.
Different mindset.
Yeah, so it's cool. I think that covers a lot of bases there, so it's pretty cool. Yeah.
I think that people buy the equipment in the hope a lot of the time that it'll motivate them. But I think having the tool is not enough. I think unless you kind of... the people that really stick with exercise, because we talked about those interviews I did earlier.
Sure.
I talked with a variety of people.
Yeah.
The people I've seen that it seemed like they had the most success find a way to make it social. They're in a running club. They're in a biking club.
Yeah.
They have people they do ping pong with once a week. They're they set a goal for themselves and they use a tracking app and they see how they do compared to their friends.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I just want to make like a generalized version of that, like, and like make it like allow people to organically build that community.
I think what COVID taught us, one of the things was that people need that social connection, right? Yeah. Let's grab this next one, or else we're gonna be So this is sort of our only fusion-y kind of sauce. It's Korean. It's got a little wing can option there. That's going to be our Korean, So it's definitely hotter than the Chipotle.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll
so
grab
get
this
in on
one.
that action. Yeah. So
I smell the heat.
So this is definitely
I don't know if I'm going to do the finger licking action.
We'll see. Dude, no problem, no pressure. I figured if I'm going to do the podcast, I'm going to do it here. I want to do it with food because it's a restaurant, but we don't talk too much about the food, but it's just kind of like a.
Where did you find this? Is like with this recipe? Like how did you?
You know
end
what's
up
funny?
At
I
this?
tell it almost every podcast, and my wife's like, "Don't tell that same story." So basically,
I asked.
Yeah, there you go. You asked, right? So basically, a few years ago, one of my ex-staff, Taiwanese guy, but his family owns a Korean restaurant, and when he told me that, I told him, "Oh, you know what? I love Korean wings." And we chatted, and I said, if you could show me the sauce, I'm like, I'll buy the recipe or whatever. He's like, no, let me show you the sauce. And so he showed it to me, and it was a little bit light, so I kind of tweaked it to make it kind of like what I wanted. And it turned out to be this. This is a little spicier than it usually is.
I'm going to take a bite.
Because, do it. So this one's a little bit spicier than it usually is because there is a special Korean paste that goes into it. And they just changed the brand on it, and I can taste just from a lick that it's spicier than a regular.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah. It's not too bad? Okay, good. Okay.
I'm a heavy spice guy.
So this is a very, very popular dish here. And the first day that we put it out, finally got on the menu, printed it out, ready to go. Like 8 or 10 Korean dudes show up, and they're like, what? It's wing night. Oh, what? You got Korean wings? And I was like, I was so nervous. But in the end, they liked it. So it was pretty... It's a little bit nerve-wracking because I'm like, oh, shoot, I'm not Korean. But, it turned out pretty good. People liked it,
I go to that international Japanese curry place, Koko Curry.
Yep.
And I'm like on the lighter side there. And I went heavy one time, and I was like, wow, people can handle a lot of spice. It's interesting. To me.
That international cocoa thing, people have raved about it. And then there's one in Takashimaya, but they don't go like spice. They're like spicy or non-spicy. So it'll be like level 0 or level 1.
Oh, really?
And it's like, it's not bad. It's okay.
The place I go to has like 6
Yeah,
options.
I know. So that's what everybody says. So people are like, you got to try like the top level. But I love spicy. But I also, I'm not trying to kill I'm still trying to enjoy my meal. Like the first time I had a hot pot, spicy hot pot, the person, I can't remember who, I think it was with my wife. We like spicy, so they're like, oh, this guy likes spicy, jack it up. And I'm like, I couldn't even eat it. It wasn't enjoyable. I was like, what is this? I mean, then when we went back another time and we kind of put it in the middle, it was delicious. Because I eat spicy, but it still has to taste like something. It still has to taste good. For example, the bomb is just pure heat.
Yeah.
It's like lighting your tongue on fire. It's like, it's hot. It's hot. So the ones we have, like the last one here is pretty hot.
Okay.
But
we're getting up there.
We're getting
that
there.
Mouthfeel
like I
tingle.
said, so we're good. Yeah. Anyways, but so we're good. So where are we on this story, man? We've done Dragon's Chamber. We've done the Stride sort of
the product and what it is.
The product and what it is. There's the app.
Right?
Right?
We can talk about the app.
So the app is something else that we haven't talked about yet, really. So talk a
the
little
app,
bit about the app.
The app is live. I think, it's a little team. Like, there's a lot of contractors. I have a wonderful guy, Jerry, who does most of the coding on the app now. And I think it's about kind of, you know what an MVP is, right? You've heard that term.
MVP?
Yeah. Minimum viable product.
Okay.
No, not most valuable player.
Yeah, I'm like MVP. Yeah. Okay.
So I like this idea of MRP, like most minimum remarkable product.
Gotcha.
So I think we've been trying to build the features that you would need. Like, what would I need to do to like actually work out with my friends? Not like trying to make it pretty, not trying to make it like beautiful. Just like, can I put this in front of some people? Can they use it? Because like back in the day, like I used stuff like Craigslist, right? There's nothing beautiful about Craigslist.
Yeah, for sure.
But
yeah.
it gets the job done for what it's trying to do.
Exactly.
And I think you can take Craigslist, and I think you can take it a lot farther. But I think sometimes the place that you start is really basic. And if you really go back to a lot of software and websites, they start really basic. And
sure.
we hope
Everything.
we built the features that you need to work out with other people. Like even you can charge people for exercise content today. Like even things like you want to make some video content and charge people for it. We'll take I think we're not even taking a platform fee right now. We're just trying to see, how do people use it? Do people like it? Because we watch.
So like a paywall sort of content? No?
Not right now. If only unless you want to charge for it, and we're not even taking a cut right now.
Okay.
I think we're just kind of seeing, what do people do with it? What do we need to improve? Where do we lose people? It's been a journey. Trying to develop like a machine and an app, and like honestly, the machine is sort of even broken apart into electronics and mechanical stuff because they only kind of very superficially touch.
Okay.
It's really it's tough. I think the app is less mature than the machine because you get kind of that is a mosquito. Sorry about Mike. What I'm about to do.
Oh, there we go. It's all good. Mosquito.
Just
okay.
They eat you alive here.
They do. They're smart. My theory is there's no winter snow to wipe out everybody, and then they come back and start again.
Yeah, they have years to learn.
They're smart.
But I think the app, we could even honestly, you could download the app. We could live stream on 2 platforms if you wanted.
Okay.
I think it's not. I don't want to oversell it, but I think it has enough that if you and your friends wanted to all watch a movie and be on the treadmill, you could do that today, pretty comfortably.
So right now you're saying people can download the app.
Yeah, Android or iOS.
But they don't have the transformer. So what's?
So they can just work out with each other.
So no transformer needed, kind of.
I think it's sort of like the goal of the Stride 360 combined with Stride Transformer.
Okay.
Is 2 separate. One is the app, and one is the machine.
Okay.
Is that 1 + 1 = 3? Where, yes, we can offer you a really good value for money by saving some money in manufacturing costs and doing this innovative technology on the machine side. Mm-hmm. Yes, you can work out with your friends. But hey, if I know what you did and you know what I did, there's an accountability component.
For sure.
There's a progress tracking component where
sure.
I did that workout on Transformer. Now I can see that I accomplished 5% towards my goal. I'm gonna work out the next 3 months.
Okay.
I got to keep moving forward. And we even mapped out all these kind of different software things.
Okay.
Like what does it look like when someone's succeeding? What does it look like when someone's failing? What does it look like when someone's being supportive?
Okay.
Like how do you map out all these interactions, and how do you design an interaction that's really flexible but also kind of trying to keep it a little bit positive and supportive?
Of course.
Well,
can't be like, "You failure!"
It's not so easy.
Failure.
There's a
can't
small
do that.
percentage
Yeah.
of people that love that, and everyone
love
else
that.
hates that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
No, I think the average, especially, I don't want to speak for women, but the sense that we've gotten in our conversations with women is that they want to be supported.
Okay.
They want guidance. They want, someone to care about their progress. They want to feel encouraged. They want to be part of a community.
Okay.
And we've tried to kind of, when I say open social fitness, the weird part for me, or I think the less than intuitive part, is that the word that I focus on when I think about developing the software is the social word. How do we make social interactions? What is the minimum remarkable social interaction? Can I share that I set a fitness goal? Can I take a picture at the beginning and end of my workout? Can I take a picture, once a week or once a month, and show progress? What is it?
Great.
What
Yeah.
are the What are the moments that I can share? What are the moments where I can feel positivity? What are the moments where I can support somebody? And how do we really build up those moments?
Yeah, no, I think that's great because I know a lot of people, they will share, on Facebook especially, things like that. They will share, I ran 30 kilometers today.
That's amazing.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, they'll be like, I ran that. I didn't. I'm just saying somebody will share that. And you see that and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. So I definitely, you see that, and then there'll be all these people saying, "Hey, congrats! Hey, hey, I ran this! Hey, I ran this! Hey, let's run together next week!" Blah blah blah, whatever. So
yeah, it builds this positive feedback loop.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And positivity is harder to get gain momentum on than negativity. Somebody says one thing negative.
Yeah, it really slows you down.
It's crazy, you know. Like for me, I'm a pretty positive guy, but I tried this hot sauce recently. And it had a long day, and I was like, and I was so stoked to find this hot sauce that everybody raves about. And then I had it, and it was not good.
No?
It was just like it was crap.
Do you want to throw shade? Do you want to call it any names?
No, it's all good. So I made a post.
Yeah.
It was like a Nando's peri peri sauce.
Okay.
And it was XX hot. And I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get home. I'm gonna have that. And I was excited. Long day. Cracked it open, and I had some, and it was like a little spicier than ketchup, you know, and I was like, and it was
for a double X.
And it was pretty bland, and I was like, and I had a long day. So I wrote a Facebook post on it, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, what's going on with this? And then I got like all these people like, yeah, fuck that place, you know, screw Nando's. And I'm like, oh no, I never post negative stuff like that, but I was just having it. It's like a long day, and then so sometimes when you post something negative or do something negative, stuff blows up. It's crazy. A lot of our customers, like 9 out of 10 of them, or 99 out of 100 of them, are happy. They love it, but most of them won't leave a review. They'll just keep coming. But the one that is not happy, they're the ones that leave the review. They're like, whatever, Eddy, blah blah blah, 1 star, and you're like, what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah.
So it's a kind of a crazy thing, and then the negativity it's a weird thing, man. It's a weird thing. Yeah.
I've been trying more and more in my own life to try to find a place of positivity, or at least kind of neutral.
Yeah.
But it can be a real struggle.
It's tough.
I think exercise is a window to that. I think good food is a window to that. I think it's about finding the right things. I think food brings you probably a lot more joy than me.
I love it, man. I love a good meal. I love good tacos. I mean, I love good wings. I love good burgers. I love a good meal. But
I think food has grown on me over time, and
Okay.
I think that a good food experience is a very unique experience.
Okay.
But I think what I hear in your stories is like such a passion for food, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, just sometimes if it gets negative, people are like, yeah. Because if I post, like, I go to so many restaurants that I love, and I've even doing some podcasts at restaurants, and when I post stuff like that, people are like, oh, this guy cooks, and then they'll go and they're like, hey, it was good, thanks for the recommendation. But then if you post something positive, people will be like, yeah, you know what, fuck that brand, and you're like, because it sucks. When I get a 1-star review, it doesn't bother me as much as it used to, but it still stings.
It's an unfair system.
It still stings.
It's a little bit unfair.
Yeah, I mean, I should be able to be like, hey, you know what, you were actually a really shit customer. But I can't. What am I going to say? I'm going to reply saying you're a crap customer.
I think MTV had like
crazy.
a TV show where they like found the customer and
I actually thought about just doing like a YouTube channel or like stand-up comedy, just like responding to like the 1-star reviews, like Gordon Ramsay.
Wait, you really get?
We do.
That
We
is
do.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it happens.
I'm like
It
genuinely
happens.
perplexed. Like, how is that
It's
possible?
crazy. It's just, it is what it is. Sometimes people had a bad day or whatever. It
I
is what it
guess.
is. It's crazy, man. But yeah, we get them.
Wow.
Everyone gets them. I mean, like, what's the most famous restaurant? Probably Raw. Maybe Raw. I mean, that's like, like Super Duper Chef. But yeah, I've seen 1-star reviews there, and I'm like, really? You're nuts. I haven't been there, but yeah. Anyways, I heard it's amazing.
I hope people lean towards their more positive or aspirational place, and it's easy to be negative.
Yeah.
Or I think it's easier to be negative than it is to be positive. And I think we both are trying to run companies.
For
and
sure.
I think
For sure.
Building things is really hard.
Yeah. It is hard. It is, and like, for example, we had a meeting today because there was a couple of negative things popping up, and we kind of had to nip that in the butt. And we're just like, let's fix this. We're not unreasonable people. It's a good job. I think it's a pretty good job. We're pretty good to people, and most people are pretty happy. Yeah, but you just need one person it's been 15 years. You just need one person to come in and be like, yeah, fuck Eddy. He thinks he's better than us or something, and then it starts to be like it's like a virus. It starts to spread, and all of a sudden everyone hates me. And I'm like, wait a minute.
No.
I'm nice to you. Go to like a place where they actually, shit on you.
I think people need.
It's crazy.
People need like a place to vent.
Yeah.
You ever watch old school like Japanese Iron Chef? See, like
No,
I think
don't
that
know.
like. So like that was like a show. That was like my favorite food show as a child.
Okay.
Where like
What was it called?
Iron Chef, like the
Oh,
original.
I'm sorry. Yes, I thought you said UHF, and I'm like that Weird Al Yankovic one. I'm like, what?
What? No.
Okay, Iron
like the
Chef.
original.
Yeah, of course I've seen that. Yeah.
So like I used to, it's coming from a place of like, I think it's okay to come from a place of like maybe like, I'm proud of what I do.
Yeah.
But if you're just like, if you're not adding anything to the conversation, like they're having
Yeah.
a conversation about like what is this ingredient, and like they're saying, oh, this person has elevated that ingredient in that way.
Cool.
So like you can have
That's
like
awesome.
interactions that like
Yeah.
are butting heads, and it can be positive. But if it's just sort of if it's taking people down instead of bringing people up, that's tough.
But there's a YouTube channel. It just popped up recently of a guy who's like he's a home chef maybe or a real chef. Anyways, he's cooking a lot.
Okay.
Basically the whole channel is him blasting Salt Bay. The salt guy.
I'm not familiar with the
Okay.
salt
So
guy.
anyway, Salt Bay is this Turkish guy who kind of has got this really expensive Turkish restaurant or steakhouse. Sorry.
Okay.
And he's all over the world, and it's like 1,000 or 2,000 US for a steak. But
That's
he'll
a
come
lot.
out and he'll like salt it for you, kind of like that, and he drops it on there. I mean, it's ridiculous, but the guy's killing it, right?
Okay.
So there's like YouTube channels of chefs just talking smack about this one guy
Okay.
who like is doing well, and you're like, they're like, we're gonna go there and we're gonna make it better. Like they'll wrap the tomahawk steak in like gold flake. They're like silly, but you know what? He's making money. He's doing well, so who gives a shit? But people will blast him and be like, yeah, Salt Bay. It's not even good. He uses old meat. And you're like, come on, man. It's ridiculous. Yeah. But the channels have like millions of subscribers.
Well,
it's
I think
crazy.
It's
crazy.
I think people sometimes get kind of feed off of that energy.
Yeah. Anyways, it's crazy. Yeah.
I hope
Is what it
that
is.
people can celebrate each other's success.
For sure. Agree.
Sometimes I worry about like the culture in general celebrating negativity too much, and
It's crazy.
And I tend to have like a very analytical, critical mindset
Love
a lot
it.
of the
Yep.
time.
Yep.
But I don't know. That's not what I hope for the wider world.
Well, yeah, I agree. So I'm gonna pull up a couple notes here that you were saying. Taiwan shoe dog. What is that?
Oh.
I think that's where we are on the journey.
Yeah. So
right?
we can talk about that.
Yeah,
So right before I came, there aren't that many books
Okay.
about like guy goes to Asia, guy gets thing made, guy is big success. Like it happens.
Yeah.
But like in my research, because I did a lot of research.
Yeah.
But like one of the books that came up was the Nike founding story, where he flew after going to business school to Japan.
Okay.
And basically, I think told ASICS, if I'm remembering correctly, make me some shoes. Like
Okay.
he was just a business school grad, was like,
Yep.
I'm a runner. I'm gonna sell shoes in America. And
One
the
more or what? Is
Yeah,
that,
sure.
Okay. Yeah. Can we get one more? Yeah. One more summer mosaic. Yeah. Thanks.
And the Phil Knight, not the basketball coach. Apparently, there are two Phil Knights.
Okay. Basketball, I don't know much about, but okay.
But Nike was just one guy flying to Japan and being like, makes me some shoes. I mean, there's a
Really?
bit more to the story, but
Okay.
This book, Shoe Dog, which I think Bill Gates wrote like a positive note about, which is just a really random thing.
Okay. That's cool.
But
Hey, Bill Gates gonna write a note in your book. That's not bad.
Yeah,
You milk that. Yeah. For sure.
But it just felt more achievable. I think, in exercise equipment, actually, a couple of the machines were one person.
Okay.
Like elliptical was arguably like one person.
Okay.
Who
Okay.
came up with the idea, I think, to help his daughter do low impact training.
Okay.
And ultimately sold the patents to another company, and there was a
Gotcha.
lawsuit and all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
But like,
There's always a lawsuit when someone's making money, right? Yeah.
I think the thing that I took away from Shoe Dog, and the thing that I also took away from, there's another company called Octane Fitness,
Okay.
which was just two guys that were like, we can make a more reasonably priced, good quality elliptical. Not even like innovation. Like Nike, you can argue there was innovation, there wasn't innovation. Big success. I
Okay.
mean,
Nike,
ultimately,
of course, yeah.
guy flies and gets stuff made. But like, I think that you come across these little stories where people did it, and it just makes it feel more plausible or more real.
That's for sure. I think anything's possible for sure.
Well,
sure.
I wondered
Yeah.
if it was really possible because even though I know some people that have succeeded, it feels like you come across a lot of people that are struggling
That didn't.
who failed.
That's the fine print, right?
But it all has to come from somewhere, and I think that was a moment for me. Like, I remember reading that book and being like, okay, maybe it's not totally crazy. I'm going to go to this country I've never really heard of and get some factory to make me a thing.
Yeah.
And then the thing's going to be such a huge success that it'll be known all over the world. It seems plausible.
No, it for sure is. And for me, I only know this industry, right? And a lot of restaurants, I think the stats are like within 1 year, like 80 or 90% close, and then within 5 years, the other like 5 to 8 or 9% close. And people are always like, oh, what's the secret? You're staying open for 15 years and blah, blah, blah. And there's no secret. It's just, you just don't stop.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean,
you keep working.
There will be podcasts. When I started the podcast is about 3 years old. When I started it, I seen a whole bunch of people. I'm obviously not the first person to start a podcast, but in Taiwan there wasn't very many.
Okay.
And then a whole bunch came out, and I actually followed them, and I saw some. And to be honest, some of them were better than mine. I'm like, damn, they got all the gear from day one. Like, these guys are like radio broadcast guys, and they're on it. And 20, 25 episodes in, they're all gone. Almost all of them are gone. I think there's one big Taiwanese podcast that I know of, and it's hard. I mean, people are like, oh, how do you stay consistent? And I'm like, just keep doing it. You just don't stop, right? So you make your
That's
day.
really tough. But honestly, you should take credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
You should take credit for that. That's amazing. I think
Just don't know when to quit sometimes. I'm like, no, just go. There have been times with the restaurant where you're like, there's no money. You're broke. You're like, oh my gosh, this is why people quit. But eventually, you just decide, should I keep going or should I stop? And yeah, I mean, it's easier to just quit. But my goal is, I also like to read the books about the successful things out here, like Din Tai Fung. Din Tai Fung? Oh, no, you don't.
Wait, is that the
you don't know Din Tai Fung?
Is that
Yeah.
the soup dumpling
All right,
people?
okay, yeah, you know about Din Tai Fung. Yes,
The
soup
soups-
dumpling. So basically, their story is the dad. I believe in the beginning he was selling some kind of oil, and then he started to sell the dumplings, the xiaolongbao, right? The dumplings,
Okay.
the soup dumplings.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
And everybody loved him. He was killing it. But I'm not sure if they tried to expand, but it didn't work out because having one restaurant and then expanding there's completely different skills.
It's tough.
Completely different skills, right? We've expanded twice and we're back to one. We hired a consultant. We're going to do it again next year, but that's another topic. So this guy, he did the whole thing, and then he got older, and then he started to bring his son into it.
Okay.
And I think it was a rich Japanese dude who's like, I want one I don't know, in Japan somewhere, maybe Tokyo, I'm guessing. I don't know where. And they're like, no, we don't know how to franchise it, or we don't know how to do that. And the dad's like, no, we can't do that. And the son wasn't the founder, so he wasn't married to all of the old processes and all the old school stuff that
it's like,
that
let's do
Pop
it.
was doing. And the son was like, okay, I'll figure it out. So he figured it out, put one in Japan, and then 2 in Japan, and then more in Taiwan, and now they're everywhere. They have them in California, I believe.
Okay.
Australia, California.
I've never actually had one.
It's good. It's good. I mean, the funny thing is people love them, and they're proud because this is Taiwan's most famous restaurant, I believe. But it's also, locals will also say it's overpriced. Because you can get soup dumplings that are awesome for like nothing from a street vendor. And it's like, yeah, but it's good. It's good food. Yeah, if you ever have a chance, check it out. It's pretty good.
Wait, I have a food
That's good.
question.
Yes,
on
go
this,
ahead,
since we're on
go
the
ahead.
topic.
Go ahead.
So, like, I'd heard about these soup dumplings.
Sure.
Why isn't that more of like a common thing? Like, I talked to like a friend that does the falafel thing. I was
Uh-huh.
like, why can't you have like hummus inside of a falafel or something? Is it like really hard to put? Is that like is the reason why that's so famous is because it's so difficult to get some liquidy thing inside of?
No, I don't think so. Not at all. No.
Okay.
So what did your friend say? I think
He just doesn't want to change his ways.
That's it. So when we started this place, it was just Mexican stuff, right? And it was good. People liked it. The old restaurants were like little holes in the wall, orange and green and purple, red walls, and just like super Mexican, like super like a Mexican restaurant you'd find in Mexico or the States, kind of like hole in the wall style. We did that the first one. We did a stand and then the first restaurant, and then on the second restaurant, we kept it like that, but we made it a little bit more, I don't want to say fine dine, but a little bit more like atmospheric, if that's even a word, inside the restaurant. So, because costs go up, you can raise the price a little bit. People liked it. People were happy. But Mexican is still niche. In Taiwan, it's still niche. I mean, how many people are looking for like tamales in Taiwan?
They'll be like, what does that mean? I don't know that Chinese word.
Exactly. There's no Chinese word. And when you put something, you have to make the Chinese word, which is crazy, right? See you, man. So being here and coaching soccer here and teaching here and just my experience here for 20 years, I know that people here, they like they like Western culture, right? They like Western culture, love American culture. It's one of the places where everybody's like, oh, I have family in Los Angeles or California somewhere, right? So when we did this one, we had an investor in the beginning, and we were taking this one, and we were like looking at the design, and I'm like, no, I want to make it more Western, right? So we're still going to keep all the Mexican, right? We still keep all the Mexican stuff.
Hats.
Yeah, we're still going to keep all the Mexican food, but we're going to add like things that I miss, like wings, like hot wings, right? Like this, like wings, and a little slide, not too much, but we're going to add that. We're going to have the bar, and we're going to have wood, cement, and brick. Like we're going to make it still Mexican, but we're going to add a little bit more Western flavor to it. And then it's just like, the sales are just like, boom. And it was a right move. It was a good experiment. So anyways, long story short is, well, it's not very short, but when I have a lot of Mexican friends and I have a lot of like Mexican customers, but, well, maybe not that many, but I get blasted by sort of like the traditional, they're like, oh, we got to do it traditional. I'm like, most of the food we make traditional, but we dress it up in a familiar way to appeal to more people. I mean, like for our corn tortillas, we grind the corn. We buy corn from a farm, and we do that overnight, with clean and the soak with the calcium powder, and then we do the grind. Like this is that you get that in Mexico. You get that in like farms in Mexico. Like the average restaurant in Mexico doesn't even do that because it's so cheap to buy tortillas on the corner for like pennies, right? So we go out of our way to make the food really good, but because we dress it up like this, we get way more people to come. The actual like hardcore, like, oh, you have to make it, super, super Mexican authentic. Those guys don't really come anymore, but they complain. But they complain more.
That works.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They complain more, and it's like, and nothing against them, but it's like sometimes you get customers that they're always giving you ideas, and they kind of give you the most ideas, complain the most, and spend the least. And you're like, why am I focusing on this tiny demographic of people that want 10-cent tacos, where I'm like, I actually have people that come in here, like we have a Taco Tuesday, and we have half-price wings on Wednesday, stuff that I miss, right? You go out for cheap wings, and they're good wings, but they're half price. Thursday, kids eat free. Like we take the stuff that I love from the West, I love from Mexico, and I bring it here, and people come, especially when Taiwanese come, they feel like they're not in Taiwan. That's kind of what I'm trying to do. And all of our beers are local craft beer. So Taiwanese people will come in and they'll see all the brands of beer. They never heard of any of them. And we'll explain this because they're all local, they're all craft. So they feel, oh, you know what? Do you have one from Shinju? I'm from Shinju. I'm like, yeah, we got a Shinju local craft. So it's a cool thing, man. So I don't know what the point of my story was. I think I kind of went off.
I think that there's a lot of love in what you do. I think I look
there's
around.
Definitely, yeah, yeah.
People love I see people smiling right now.
Yeah. I mean, we just try to package it to where it's more attractive to everybody, and not just people looking for a burrito. It's like we try to encourage as many people to come in and check it out.
I think that passion can take you really far, and
sure.
I think that you tried to find what worked for you.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that that is the entrepreneurial journey in a lot of ways.
Passion can take you far, but you have to know passion doesn't pay the bills, right?
You gotta find something that people want.
You have to find that fine
Balance.
that gray area, that little balance in the middle where it's like, you know what? I actually have a salary now. For the first 10 years, I didn't pay myself.
Oh, I know something
Ridiculous.
about that.
It's ridiculous. And I'm like, yeah. But then you're like, oh my gosh, I have a salary now. I can actually buy a new microphone if I want to without having to be going deep into the numbers and being like, no, I can't buy a microphone.
Oh, not worrying about money. Worrying about money will be so good. Honestly, I don't really care necessarily about being rich. I don't want to ever have to worry about money ever again.
That's exactly it. Yeah, yeah. So
do you want to
let's go before we go out. Yeah. So this is the Ghosts.
Oh,
this is, do you know Empress hot sauce?
Yes, I do know Empress.
So this is their Ghost. Big fan of the Empress guys, and this is their Ghost. Yeah.
I was actually at their pizza party at Little New York. It was nice. Little New York, very nice. Empress, nice. I hear my people asking me, and I hope they're not watching. I'm more of the classic, rooster sauce kind of guy. I'm I like that sriracha.
Sriracha, yeah. Okay.
But the Empress is nice. I think flavored hot sauces definitely have their place and are really tasty.
It's like a craft beer, right? Super flavorful, super different, super unique, creative. But then there's Tabasco.
Yes.
People will be like, "Do you guys have Tabasco?" And I'm like, "Wow, we make 8 different hot sauces. So just tell me the level you want. We actually don't have Tabasco." And they're just like, "What?" And then so I give them a row of hot sauces. And then they're just like, wow, this is great because they get to try all the different hot sauces. So it's kind of part educating, part, it's part of the journey, right? It's part of the journey, bro. But
different occasions call for different sauces, right?
I think so, yeah. You were talking about culture shock.
Oh, man.
Was that the culture shock coming here or going back?
Mostly here.
Okay, because when I go back, I have culture shock.
Really?
I've been here for so long, it's weird.
I never felt very American in America.
Okay.
And I feel so American here all the time.
Oh yeah, you got to wear that badge on your forehead, no?
And I feel like a lot of the Americans that are here are escaping America and don't have the most positive feelings. But I love America. I think America is not perfect, but there's a lot of good things.
Gotcha.
And
I'll
give you an example.
Do your thing. Okay.
You probably already know this. Your viewers probably know this as well. But if they're not in Taiwan, you've been to the Taiwanese DMV?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I spent 10 hours at the Taiwanese DMV recently. I could not even conceive, as an American, we think a bad time at the DMV is 2 or 3 hours.
A bank is the same here, right? Similar. Yeah.
If you don't have guanxi with them, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot hotter.
Stepping up. All right. Empress hot sauce, baby.
It's tasty.
It's good though, right?
It's got heat.
They use a local Aboriginal. It's like a peppercorn. And ghost pepper. So these guys are good, man. They're really good people, and they got good sauces. They just released a hibiscus hot sauce. I want to try that.
Really, I want to try that.
Yeah. They got some good eats, man. Yeah. So the culture shock. Tell me more.
Well, wait, just a little aside. It's
a quick one.
Yeah. I'm a gardening guy. I actually grew some ghost peppers.
Okay.
But apparently, if you do the soil wrong, you don't get the capsaicin level. So you can grow ghost peppers, and they're not that hot. It's actually takes work to make them that hot.
I get mine directly from farms. And the Taiwanese farmers, they always tell me that it's a living thing, obviously, right? So if you just feed them water and feed them everything they need, they get big and fat and they're lazy and they don't get spicy. If you starve them, you're not giving them, they're struggling to get that water, to get all. This is what, I'm not a farmer, but this is what the farmers tell me.
Like grapes, kind of.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I don't know anything about grapes.
The vineyard.
But if you do that, there you go.
thing.
If you're starving that ghost pepper or reaper or whatever it is, it's it's struggling and it's just it's struggling to get that water. Then it's it becomes really, really spicy. That's what they told me. I mean, I've never done it because I have grown some before, but we use so many kilos of scorpion pepper and Carolina reaper and habanero. We use so much that for me to grow my own, I'd have to rent a piece of land and start farming it. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's not.
I already do so much, I'm not going to do that, and it doesn't sound fun.
Would it be possible to get a little bit more milk or
Oh,
something?
shoot. Yeah, man. Do you need milk too? Yeah. Are you cool with milk or just horchata?
Horchata's great.
Both? We need both. Whatever.
I would take some horchata.
Okay, sure. No problem.
I think
no
the
problem.
heat is getting to me a
You're
little
getting
bit.
in there? Okay.
Or I'm out of water too. I'm a big. I love the liquids.
No, that's good. Claire. Juana. Can we get another horchata and another water? Thanks, man.
But in terms of culture shock, I'm gonna talk through the pain.
Talk through the pain. You're a Hot Ones fan. Let's go.
I am a Hot Ones fan.
There you go.
You gotta work the problem.
Let's go.
I think the food is very different. The idea of politeness and keeping face or not losing face. I think actually not losing face is more important than keeping or gaining face. Like trying not to embarrass anyone, but also being really persistent, like knocking on those doors all the time. Because I make a lot of things happen with very little resources, and you have to push against the culture. Well, it's great, but it's also like
it's the entrepreneur, man.
I don't want to bring any bring any shade to America. Like I don't want to.
Oh no,
I think the Taiwan government and the Taiwan people have treated me really well, and I really appreciate it. But the bureaucracy, like I go on what I call stamp scavenger hunts, where like it's the rules. You got to go to these 10 departments and go collect stamps, and
Gotcha.
maybe you went in the wrong order, and now you got to go in and do it in a different order.
Yeah, man.
I got trapped. Well, not trapped, but like I got in like a bureaucratic loop in Hong Kong when I was renewing my visa.
Been there.
I was there for I think double the amount of time I expected, because I just, for the life of me, could not figure out what they were asking in terms of paperwork.
Yep. All good.
Just keeping the table clean.
No, we're good. You keep going, man. I don't want to stop you. Just keep going. Yeah.
So, yeah, the DMV 10 hours.
That's crazy. Oh my
It's
gosh.
crazy.
Yeah.
Apparently, they felt that it was normal.
It's normal. Yeah. Unfortunately.
And then like that test, I want to see the evidence that test, the driving test, the written test, I mostly accept.
Yeah.
The medical care in that test,
Gotcha.
I question. But like the actual like that straight line bit for 7 seconds. Like,
also water too. Yeah. Thanks.
I think it's hard for me to accept some things like that, but then there are other things, like the government is in a weird way so generous with resources, and a lot of times people will take conversations here just because you're a foreigner, you're trying to do business in their country, and they appreciate that, or like, even to get to your restaurant, a stranger helped me translate with the bus driver who did not understand that I was trying to get on his bus, and like thought that what I was communicating was that I was trying to get on the wrong bus. And like people step in and help out, and that's really nice, but it's also like you're constantly in this place where you don't fully understand the intentions of the people around you, and for the most part people are so honest and good here, but it's really just so hard for me. I can't speak for other people. For me, like I don't speak Chinese. I don't really.
Hey, man.
Hello.
It's tough. It's tough being illiterate.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
I worked at it too. Like I tried
tough.
Duolingo
It's
and
tough.
stuff.
Yeah.
I made no progress after like a month or two, and I was like,
It's a tough one. It's tough.
I'm trying to get to count to 11 right now. That's my current project.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
I'm really basic because I play ping pong, and I'd like to be able to keep score.
No, that's all right. That's. Yeah. No, I mean.
I can get to like 5 right now. I've made it like halfway.
That's all right. That's all you need.
I feel like
That's all
such
you
a
need.
small, like it's like embarrassing, but like I don't know. I also like
It depends on the people you're with, right? If you're like my first couple of years here, I didn't speak almost any Chinese because I was only hanging out with like foreigners, right? Only English-speaking people.
No,
right?
I hang out with plenty of Taiwanese people. That's not the problem.
Okay, but they speak in English with you usually.
Yes, a lot of them, or they just won't speak to me. It's like one of the two.
Gotcha.
I'm in a 4-man ping pong group on Sundays, and one of the guys, he's a very nice guy, he just doesn't speak any English, and so we're not having a conversation.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah,
How was that last one there, man? Good. It's pretty spicy, that one, yeah.
For me,
This one's crazy.
That's probably the peak of what I would do in my own personal life.
Gotcha. Okay.
Even maybe that's a little bit beyond, because I try to keep my stomach settled.
Yeah, of course. I'm trying. I mean, the last one's way hotter. We don't have to do it. It's all good.
No, 100%. We're doing.
All right.
We're Hot Ones fans. That
Okay.
we gotta finish.
Okay.
It's okay. We can suffer later.
So usually between these two, I'll bring up some pictures,
Okay.
and you can tell me what's going on in the picture.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take a look.
You good to go? One.
Okay, yeah. This was this is a Shark Tank style event.
Okay. In Taipei? Or no.
In Chicago.
Okay.
I had kind of done an entrepreneurship thing through a Jewish organization
Nice.
Because I'm part of the Jewish community. And
And it looks like you won.
I got some money. It was really
You got
nice.
something out of it? Okay.
$2,500 goes a ways. It doesn't go as far as you'd think in like somewhere manufacturing and
sure.
engineering stuff.
Sure.
But you can stretch $1. And I think just kind of I really appreciated the opportunity, again, to get up on stage, to talk with people about what I was doing.
Okay.
I think you get some good feedback. I think even more than now, there was a lot of skepticism.
Okay.
And the maturity of the product. Like, you look at what I have now, you can imagine probably I can get on that, I can use it. It doesn't necessarily look
tough.
perfect.
Okay.
It used to be much worse.
Gotcha. Of course.
And yeah, I was just honestly just pumped that
Beautiful.
I was up on stage.
That was a good one,
And
man.
I was being silly with a friend of mine.
Yeah, no, it's good. I love it. We'll go on to the next one. Boom.
I think this was a different event. I think just, I believe in like the networking thing, and I
Sure.
believe in going to presentations and listening to about,
Yeah.
Here's how a parking company conquered the Colorado market.
Okay, yeah.
Here's how inhaler company, collected data and ultimately helped solve air pollution problems. Like,
Okay, yep.
I just find it really inspiring to be at different entrepreneurship events. I want to say this was, oh God, I'm not
One of
100%.
those.
I'm
Yeah,
not,
it's all
I'm
good.
not
It's all good.
100% sure which
Just
one.
a bit of a deep dive in there. Yeah, pull up some pictures. All good. It's a
She's
networking.
I remember she was very nice.
She looks pretty good. I'm not good. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Take care. All right, next. Boom.
So these, I was in one of, they used to have high school fraternities.
Really?
Yeah, it
Well,
was-
I'm from
that-
like a super small town in Canada,
So
there's no.
long ago, in a time
Yeah.
past, they used
Okay.
to have high school fraternities.
Okay.
And some of them still persist. And this was like a
Wow.
youth group high school fraternity thing, again, around kind of Judaism.
Okay.
And actually,
Oh, okay.
my chapter, Haganah, was, this is a reunion, but we were the #1 chapter in the world. There's like
Nice.
hundreds of chapters.
Cool. For like high schools and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
for high schools all
Very
over the
cool.
world.
That's very cool. Yeah.
And
I just thought it was a pretty cool picture. Yeah.
I want to say, let's see, I don't think, like actually my brother-in-law was in the same chapter.
Okay.
A lot of these, these are some great guys. A lot of them have done a lot of interesting things.
I think stuff like that is great to be able to support your brothers and stuff like that. I think it's a good thing, man.
I think, I did not have a smooth, I had a lot of health issues, and so I was a very difficult
Gotcha.
kid.
Sure,
and
sure,
this
sure.
was one of the ways in high school where I got to relax, and I still keep up with the chapter, and I hope the
Very
chapter
cool.
is doing well.
Very cool.
I still remember all the songs. The songs
Awesome.
are great.
Very cool. Oh yeah, that sounds. You want to drop some lyrics or what?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't do the KTV here.
All
I'm
right,
not
all
going to do
right.
anything.
Oh, dude, we have KTV night here once a month, but like English KTV. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun.
Maybe I'll stop
I'll let you
by.
know. I'll let you know.
I feel like you might get the police called because they're going to think someone's dying.
Nah, it's good, man. I've had some unbelievable singers here, and I've had some unbelievable stinkers, man. It's all good fun. It's all good
So
fun.
a lot of these people are dog people, but a lot of these people are people I knew in high school.
Okay.
Actually, I flew to the U.S. for Mita's wedding, the girl in the white hat.
And the white hat. Okay.
She had this epic like Indian wedding. I'd never been to like
Nice.
a proper
Oh, that sounds like
Indian
fun.
wedding. And she still has. I think that's Tony, the blonde dog in the front who looks
Okay.
kind of grouchy. But
Love dogs. Okay.
really great people. I think me and Josh talk engineering. Josh actually designs plant walls, so I love talking
Nice.
shop with him.
Okay.
Kat over there is doing all kinds of like movie producing.
Nice.
People,
Okay.
it's kind of. I went to a very. I want to say it's the most diverse high school in the U.S.
Okay,
I think we had
okay,
like
okay.
70 or 80 languages spoken.
Okay. Really? Wow.
And you can kind of a little bit see it represented
see it
in this
there,
photo.
yeah.
I want to say there's like 7 or 8 countries actually in this photo.
Very nice. Very nice.
Um,
Cool.
Very
cool.
good people. I think we used to also go together to the dog park on the
Okay.
beach, which was really nice.
I love dogs, man. Yeah.
And sadly, actually, since I've been in Taiwan, my dog passed away. but
Bummer.
It's okay.
Bummer, man. I love dogs. We don't have a dog here because we have an apartment and we have like no free time, so it's not good. We have a rabbit. Oh my god, the rabbit's so cute. I love
Yeah.
the,
Does
I
it
love
bring you good luck?
That's great. I mean, it's been good so far. It does shed like a dog though, which is not quite as much, but it sheds. And sometimes you'll be, you grab a glass of water and you got rabbit fur in there, which is not great.
Yeah,
I think that's the same event,
yeah,
right?
same event.
Yeah.
I think it's always nice to feel victorious.
Of course.
I think I've lost way more of these than I've participated, than I've walked.
Dude, you gotta try everything.
And I'll tell you, like I've pitched for a lot of money, like over $100,000.
Okay, wow.
On multiple occasions.
Okay.
Some of which they're photos, some of which are not.
Oh,
I think
good.
You feel the wins a lot. You feel the losses maybe even more.
That's like life, dude, right? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not necessarily that competitive a person, which
Gotcha.
is, I think, weird because I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs are very competitive. I think it's like I just want to celebrate the things that I think are good, and I really believe in what I'm doing, and I think you can see like
Yeah. I think that's key.
even more than the money in this moment, it's like nice to be like some other people are celebrating what I like as well.
Beautiful. I love it. Keep going.
Yes. This
Another
was
pitch,
probably
I
one of
guess?
the most painful losses.
Oh, really? Okay.
Not because I deserved to win. I did not deserve to win.
Okay.
But the people that won did not absolutely
Not
100%.
deserve to win. Ah.
They did the win. I'm gonna throw shade. I'm gonna throw hard
Dude,
shade.
throw some shade.
The company that won was Scarf 2.0. It was like a
Scarf 2.0. Okay.
it was an update of the scarf.
A scarf with a hole
there
in it
was
or something? Yeah.
for industrial settings.
Okay.
For people working in like cold environments, and I'm like dealing with the condensation, but like 100%, I don't think it worked.
Okay.
And also, there was a guy. It wasn't as sexy a business. The guy who pitched, in my opinion, the best, and had a solid business. Fundamentals were good. He was passionate about the business.
Okay.
There's this guy selling clothing for short people, and he's like,
Okay.
I've created a designer line for short people. I want to say that's what he did. I was also a little bit drunk because I went like first, and I immediately
And then
after
you're
I
like,
got bombed.
yeah, all right.
I'm not a big drinker, but like when
Yeah.
I pitch sometimes, I want to say this was an audience of like 500, 600 people.
Oh, wow.
It was definitely hundreds.
And I mean, it's sponsored by Miller Lite? Or
Oh yeah, I was a
it's big
national
one.
semifinalist,
Okay.
and this was judged by Damon John of Shark Tank.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
And honestly, it was a good experience, but I feel like I wasn't really ready for it. And as you can see, the prototype in the background is way more basic.
Gotcha.
I think what do I take away from this? I think it's just like you learn by doing. Oh yeah, you got to keep that air in.
Yeah, or else it gets so hot, and then
No fun.
and then people are like, oh, it's so hot in here.
I think that like now when I speak in public, I'm like a pretty good extemporaneous or prepared speaker, but I think I still could be a little bit like more structured and a little bit more succinct. But like
The more you do it, though, it's got to
yeah.
get better and better, right?
I want to say I've given like 50 public presentations at this
Okay.
point, and I don't think that's actually an exaggeration. Like I think actually like 50.
Gotcha. Okay.
And you get better and better. I think like you can learn to talk with people. You can learn to present an
Helps, it
idea.
helps, yeah.
You can make an idea very simple and clear.
Okay.
And this was just part of that journey. And this was not, I think this was a little bit of a sad moment. I remember which bar we went to afterwards. Actually, some of the people in that other bar with the dogs were
Okay.
drinking with me that night.
Okay.
I think more like less drinking with me and more just making sure I didn't get too blackout.
Okay.
In
All right.
Wrigleyville, actually.
Those are good days.
But
Blackout, I haven't done that in a long time. All right. Good, man. Hey,
I think my family was there, and I'm glad that people came out and supported me. And ultimately, if this succeeds, this was part of the journey too.
yeah, I mean, there's always going to be peaks and valleys, right? Always.
Oh, for sure. And that's Damon John from Shark Tank.
Okay. Yeah, that's
You did
what I
not
thought.
recognize him at all,
I didn't
did you?
recognize him, man, because I was looking at you. I wasn't looking at anyone else.
It's
I
not
was
the
like, I
best
got him
photo,
in there.
but like
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I was the only person to take a selfie on stage because I thought
That's
that'd be
cool.
kind of a cool thing to do.
Nice.
He
Very
was
cool.
not very nice to the idea, though, I will say.
Okay.
And I think he, on this show, is not my favorite. I think either Cuban or maybe
Cuban's solid, yeah.
Lori. Although Lori does not give good valuations on the company, but I also imagine that she works very hard. I don't know. I feel like even if I don't need to, I would love to be on the show. I'm a huge Shark Tank person. Like that was one of the things that I found very inspiring and interesting early on in the journey.
Okay.
But here's a weird bit of trivia.
Okay.
Do you know where the original show comes from?
No clue.
So it's a rebroadcast of a rebroadcast.
Okay.
So before Shark Tank,
Yes.
there was Dragon's Den
Yes.
in England.
I've heard. I know that.
That's a
one, yeah.
rebroadcast as well.
Okay.
Originally, my understanding, I've never actually seen a full episode. There's a Japanese show called Money Tigers, which is just super weird and it's like people begging for money. where this whole thing originates.
Really?
And like watching each version of the show or trying to get a hold of footage,
Okay.
I think also tells you something about business cultures. And I think that's one of the things, like, we're international entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Business culture varies from place to place. Like, sometimes there's a lot of bureaucracy. Sometimes people have expectations about how you do contracts.
Yeah.
You can do contracts on a handshake here. People honor their word. Like, it's really interesting. I would not do contracts.
Yeah.
Maybe not in your industry, in my industry.
Maybe in my,
In factory stuff.
Okay, factory stuff. Yeah.
Mostly
that's
people
tough.
do what they say.
Yeah. I mean, I've had, not great experiences with that.
I've
but
had-
not just locals. I mean, I've had crap experiences with many different, let's say,
I don't
types, races of people here. Not all Taiwanese, like all kinds. Yeah, but that's neither here nor
I
there,
find
guess,
I people here are more trustworthy. That's
Yeah,
my
for sure,
experience.
for sure. Yeah,
I'm more
yeah.
trustworthy.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you leave stuff out in public here?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, you
you
go to like a
just-
Starbucks or
yeah,
something,
you can
and
just leave your laptop
you leave
out.
all your gear out there, and go
Yeah.
to take off for 20 minutes. Come
That's
back.
honestly
It's
one of
crazy.
the things that you
That's
talk when you
crazy.
talk about culture shock.
That's crazy.
Every time I do it, I'm like, I need to go to the bathroom,
Yeah,
and
It's
I
crazy,
have a
right?
pause moment. So
it's
let's
crazy.
keep going. Let's keep going.
Keep going. Boom.
Do you know who this is?
I don't, man.
Take a guess. Like, okay, you got
Oh,
any
no.
clues?
Oh gosh, man.
He's a politician.
Oh, that's why I don't know. Okay.
I think
I know zero about
I
politics.
feel like I'm gonna get this wrong, but I believe he was the governor of Illinois. At the
Oh, you don't
time.
know either. Oh, perfect. Okay.
I don't
Okay.
remember his name.
That's
Honestly,
okay. I don't
a lot
remember.
of times the governor of Illinois goes to jail because there's a lot of corruption in Illinois.
Fantastic.
But this is actually at where I had my office in Chicago. This is a place called M Hub.
Okay.
Not a perfect place, but I have a lot of love for M Hub. It's like a manufacturing co-working space.
Okay.
And you can actually see CNCs behind. There's actually a laser cutting room
there you go. Beautiful.
over there. There's one of my favorite tool actually probably in the whole shop is just to his left shoulder, which is
Okay.
photo right.
Okay.
Something called a thermoformer.
Okay.
You
No
ever
idea.
like see clamshell packaging? Like you ever see that hard plastic shit packaging that's got like weird shape to it? Like
I think so. Yeah.
So that's made. It's like you take a sheet of plastic, you get it kind of wobbly.
Okay.
And then you basically take like something that if the plastic is the negative, you have the positive, like the.
Thank you. Yeah.
So a mask is kind of like a hollow. Imagine if you have a face and then you
Yeah.
put a piece of plastic on the face.
Okay.
And it retains the shape of the
Okay.
face.
Gotcha. Just a quick thing. Don't touch your eyes with your. Well, yeah. Don't touch your
it'll be
eyes.
okay.
All right. Okay.
But yeah, actually, that suit, which I think is just a fantastic suit,
Good looking suit.
was like secondhand for like $20, and I want to say
Oh.
it's like Armani or something. I got so
beautiful.
lucky.
Nice. Bam.
Oh, so this is in Taipei. This was a really cool event. I stumbled.
Bow and arrow in Taipei.
Yeah, so this is that's a connected bow and arrow. So that's sports tech. So that's actually monitoring the stability of your arm.
Oh,
And I feel like actually in this photo I look like a much better archer than I am.
you look pretty good, man.
I did do archery in the summers, like for like
Okay.
5 days of summer, almost
Okay.
every year,
Okay.
which is in total
That's
like
more than most, I
it's
would imagine.
not a lot of archery though.
But I mean,
and I had not done archery in years.
I've
I
never
feel
even
like
seen a bow and arrow. Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
Actually, my form is a little bit off. I think actually I should probably drop my rear elbow a little bit.
Okay.
But this was actually, there's something called Hype here in Taiwan, which is their sports accelerator. And I was going to the demo day for Hype.
Okay.
But I'm a curious person. I wandered around.
Just figure it out. Okay.
And I saw, totally unrelated, they happened to have a sports technology showcase. They booked both venues.
Okay.
And this was one of a bunch of stuff that I thought was super interesting.
It's pretty. It looks cool. Yeah.
I think I get really excited about sports tech, not even
Okay.
like my own stuff. Like I think it's not like I always want to rag on other people in the industry.
Yeah. No, for sure.
I thought this was actually pretty great. Like, I don't know how much it cost or how good. I'm not a good enough archer to know if this is useful. And
Okay.
I also got a great score, so I'm probably really biased by that.
Okay.
But yeah,
So the machine liked you. You liked the machine. That's how it
Yeah,
rolls,
I
right?
just thought it was
you got
fun.
That, you got the guanxi with the machines, yeah.
yeah.
All right.
I think
Machine guanxi. Okay.
I mean I also want to say I hit like at least one bullseye, which was nice.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. 2 more.
Oh man, this was an earlier version of the product.
Okay.
A friend of mine has like a VR company.
Uh-huh.
And he put on this event in collaboration with some people from Japan and some people from Taiwan.
Okay.
This version of the machine, the elliptical folded up, which is just a terrible idea. Don't do that. Ellipticals
Okay.
are not meant to fold.
Okay.
That you end up. Sometimes you have to go backwards to go forwards. I think I've
Okay.
said that
Sure,
to other
sure,
people.
Sure.
That was just a dead end in terms of engineering path. Like,
Okay.
you cannot. We saw no way, after much consideration, of making. Maybe there's a way.
Okay.
I'm very skeptical that it is even possible to make an
Gotcha.
elliptical because ellipticals they create physical motion. So like a running motion is kind of like an ellipse at an angle.
Yeah.
With like a certain like positive and negative curve.
Okay.
And to make that motion, you have to have certain mechanical linkages to create that physical shape.
Gotcha.
And you compromise those linkages, like you either add instability or...
Yeah, that makes sense.
Honestly,
yeah.
like I don't want to nerd out on the mechanical stuff too much.
No, that's
I think
cool,
that this layout of like elliptical and exercise bike facing each other is good. But even things like the monitor is vertical, as much for consideration of like a collision avoidance as anything else.
Okay.
I think
So this was kind of like version 1.0?
I would say this is where we're starting to see something that's getting to... Maybe it can be produced or even like commercially produced, not just like made a one-off, but still, even though it looks probably pretty similar, it's to me this is leaps and bounds different.
Okay.
But this is also by the same engineer that they did the majority of the current design.
Okay.
And he did a great job on this. And honestly, Peter is amazing, and I owe him so much, and I feel so much gratitude.
Okay.
You know, relationships are not just with other companies. You know, sometimes one person really steps in and does something huge.
I know it. Yep.
And I hope he feels my gratitude, and I hope I can reward him someday beyond even the compensation that was offered.
Beautiful.
I met him actually non-English teaching jobs of Taiwan.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a funny group. Yeah, it's a big group.
A friend said post on here, and I'm like, is that gonna really work?
That's funny.
And I found somebody with like 20 years of fitness equipment design experience.
Okay, that's so funny. Yeah, that's a funny group because someone will post like some kind of teaching gig and then they'll get blasted. That's so funny. All right, last one.
Yeah, these are some good people. I think Pedro over there I want to say what is that, a Puma?
Puma, yeah.
Yeah, we play ping pong on Wednesdays. I still talk with some of these guys. One of them is in the VR space, kind of trying to do a physical product that cools your face so you don't get hot and sweaty with the goggles.
Okay.
It's just...
I mean, that's cool.
So many different...
If it works, right, yeah.
It did work. I think I'm not into... there's products where I just kind of withhold judgment, where it's cool and it worked, and like how much of a problem is this? I just don't know.
You got to be solving a problem, right?
Well,
you're thinking, yeah.
You have relationships that
know.
go well, you have relationships that go poorly.
Yeah.
I think I'm glad I met these people. I think some of these people sort of are no longer part of my journey. I think some of these people I hope to know in many years.
Okay.
And honestly, 2 or 3 of these people, I have no idea what happened to them.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Cool.
This was in another city though. I don't actually know what city this is in. It's not Taipei. And I want to say it's at least 2 hours from Taipei.
Go global.
I go. So like my Chinese is so bad, I cannot even remember place names.
Okay.
I have been to a number of.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I studied a language for 18 years. I speak 3rd grade level. Okay. And I like that language.
Okay.
I find Chinese very challenging because I cannot hear the tones.
It's a tough one. I think what helped me was I learned like the b p m f. That if you can get that down, you're able to break down all the words.
I have not gotten that down yet though.
Well, that's for sure. For me, it was the most important thing.
Okay.
After that, I can actually. Before that, when I hear people speak, it was just like gibberish. But after I broke down, I was able to do the b p m f. Then when I could hear people, I could actually hear. I didn't know what they meant, but I could actually hear.
You heard the tones.
I could hear something. It wasn't just gibberish. Like if I go and I hear Korean or Greek or some Arab language, it's going to be gibberish. You know what I mean? Like I have no idea.
But even phrases I hear all the time, like I go to ping. Like I don't want to bring up ping pong too much.
Sure,
I hear this phrase "hao cho,"
good
and
ball,
apparently
yeah.
it's down tone, and then it's either neutral or up tone.
Okay.
So it's like "hao cho."
Okay.
Apparently, I say that wrong, and I've tried to say that. I play against a lot of people that are better than me, and that's what you say if they do something really good.
Hey, good ball, yeah.
And I'm just so embarrassed, but like I don't know what I can do.
Like, what I did was when you listen to people talk, first you have to be able to break down what people are saying, but I just kind of like mirror, like sort of mimic how people talk, and then that's what helped for me. Like not words, like but full sentences. You just learn. Oh, this is how you say it. I mean, that's what I did, but I've also been here for a long time.
I try that. I have a restaurant I go to in Ximen where I have them try to teach me phrases with very mixed success.
Okay.
Like I now can say "ibe shui,"
Okay.
or like "uan." Like they taught me that.
Okay.
Or
Cool.
"jenda jada."
Okay. Well,
They teach
you don't
me
need
weird-
that much more than that.
They
That's
teach you.
good.
No, you do.
Okay.
I can say things like "yenba" or "bai fun," but it's
Okay.
it's rough, man. It's
Well, if you know a word like a yimba, then you can hear when someone says it. You can hear the more you hear it, then the more you kind of like, in my case, kind of like mirror / mock how they say it, and then people are like, "Oh wow, your pronunciation's so good." I have no idea what the tones are. I just talk because that's how people talk.
I think that's how babies do it
That's
too.
how I do.
I
That's how I
should
do it.
believe and just make the full jump in. I
I mean,
think
it's up to you if you want to. Like, I have to do
think
it because I have a business.
I want to show
Like, we have to
respect.
talk to people all the time.
I talk to.
I mean, I don't know.
I want to put people at ease. I want to be able to have general conversation.
Yeah.
But I have no talent at language or directions.
Well, that's.
I feel like I was given some very specific gifts, and I think I have some
No.
deficits. And
Hey, everybody's not good at
Chinese
everything,
is
man.
a rough
It's tou-
language.
It's not easy.
It's not an easy rodeo.
Not easy for sure. Cool,
What-
brother.
You got any more photos? Are we done with the photos?
That's it. That's the photos. Yeah. So all we got left is this last one here.
Okay.
Are we gonna go
let's
for
do
it? You want to do it? All right. Okay.
Whew.
So this is my final wing, right?
Okay, that's.
It's made with.
I'm gonna get some.
Get the milk ready or
Nappies
chata.
ready.
Yeah. So that is made with Carolina Reaper, which is way hotter than Ghost, way hotter than
So
Scorpion.
are you saying this is over 1 million Scovilles?
Oh, for sure.
How painful is this gonna be in your opinion?
See you, man. I can smell it already. I do it every week, so it's kind of rough.
Well, you
but,
keep doing
You
it.
keep doing it, so yeah, it's hard to describe.
Are you finishing the whole thing?
Take a bite first?
Are
and see
you
how you feel.
finishing the whole thing?
It depends on what you do, bro.
Yes or no?
It depends
question.
on what. Hey, I let you go first, man.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
eat the whole thing. If you're gonna eat the whole, will you do it with me? I'm gonna
We can
suffer
do it.
no
We can
matter
do it.
what
We
it
can do
is.
it. We can do it. I'm gonna take a little guy here first. Take a little guy. Try it out. Salute. Carolina Reaper. I'm definitely gonna. If I make the whole thing, I need one more of these for sure.
Doesn't start off so bad.
Okay.
It's escalating.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's a little painful. Still not so bad.
When you swallow. See you, man. Yeah.
Wait, before it gets bad, I'm gonna just do the whole thing.
Do the whole thing. So while we're doing this, we made it all the way through. Do you have anything that you want to add to maybe people that are upcoming entrepreneurs, maybe people that they want to pitch to get some government grants, or perhaps they want to be in a position that you're in right now? Any advice to those people? Before you... I will. I got to get one more of these first. Sophie, can I get one more? Thanks.
Maybe ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss. Okay.
In this case. Oh wow.
Yeah, it's right.
Oh wow.
Get that final thought out before you explode, dude. Yeah. It's way hotter than the last one.
I think that things are achievable.
Okay.
You're gonna make sacrifices. Oh, my heart is racing.
For sure. Okay.
Woo.
Get it in there.
You know, there's gonna be a lot of pain, like this moment right now. But I love what I do. Like I
Okay.
really like heart to heart. Like
Okay.
I love what I do. I think, you know, you sacrifice for the things you love, and you got to ask if you have it in you. But everything you touch, because I'm a manufacturing guy,
Yeah.
there's someone somewhere that was just so passionate about that glass you're holding, maybe. Or maybe they weren't. Maybe it was just a job for them. But, like,
Yep.
oh, it's a struggle.
That's a tough one, the last one, man.
I can't believe I did the whole wing. That was dumb.
That's crazy.
It was very dumb.
I know. Thank you. So now you got to shout out to the hot ones, guys, right?
Yeah, I always wonder, like, why are they having these big physiological reactions?
Yeah.
That's the hottest thing I've ever eaten.
It's Carolina Reaper, man. It's pretty rough, yeah. We bottle that one if people are interested, yeah. Actually, it sells really well. Bottle-wise, yeah.
I always keep cleaning my palate.
Yep.
I want some ginger, actually. I wish I had some ginger.
Ginger. Ooh, that's one thing we don't have, yeah. So,
I
believe in your dreams. Go for it. That's it.
I just do the risk reward.
Okay.
On some level, you have to believe in yourself, or at least believe that it's possible that you can succeed.
Yep.
And you have to convince other people of that as well.
Okay.
Even before you believe it yourself, maybe sometimes.
Okay.
I think
People don't believe the last one's hot. I'm like, it's hot. It's hot.
no, like my gums hurt. Like I feel like pain to like my eyes are watering.
Oh, don't touch your eyes.
I'm not touching my eyes
Yeah,
for sure.
do not. And wash your hands 3 times before you pee.
The one prior to that got nothing on that last
Yeah.
one.
Wash
Like
your
not
hands,
even
yeah.
like a tenth of it.
Yeah. Because we were getting to the end many times in the beginning, and people were like, what? That's it? That's it? And I was like, I gotta have one. I gotta have
You
one.
ended with a real firecracker.
Cool. So, awesome. I got your website in the description below. So if anybody wants to find you, check out that website, right?
Yeah.
Right? And
I think
that's about it, or?
If I can help anyone in any way within reason, give me a shout. My email's on the website.
Perfect.
I've tried to help as many people as I can. A lot of people have helped me. I hope this was an interesting conversation for you.
For sure. I had a
hope
great
it was
time, bro.
interesting for the audience. And
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I think you seem like a great guy, Eddie. Thank
Thanks,
you
brother.
for having me.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming. Thank you guys for watching the show. We'll see you guys next week, same time. Bye-bye.
Ooh.